BikeBlogger here with another Bike FAQs, Bike Facts. I really appreciate everyone who's been, cheering me along here as I do these videos, responding to comments, in a video format like this. I do like to share other people. Sometimes viewers don't see other viewers' comments, or they don't have time to look at them, or you got to click here, click there, scroll down here. If it's just in a video form, maybe you all will see each other's comments and maybe strike up some conversations amongst each other, whether it be on my channel or some other forum or whatever. But just as long as we're bringing more people into our team here, into our camp, that more people ride their bikes on the road. So let's get started. Herc1122 writes, I remember my first bike commute was in 7th grade. Route was only around half a mile, decent uphill and then downhill on the way home. Fun and I enjoyed it. I had a bike locked it up to the one and only bike rack at the school, to my knowledge, at the edge of a parking lot. The route was safe overall, with 2 residential blocks and crossing moderately busy intersection. Uphill on a wider sidewalk. The other option was to go all the way around a sidewalk. Speed limit was 25 for vehicles, entire route. So anyway, it looks like they're just explaining their experience here. And last time that they bike commuted was in 2014, so that was 5 years ago. Nice video. I've been following your content for a few years now. Wow, thanks Herc1120. Had to point out your comment here. You're a long-time viewer. Love my long-time viewers, dedicated viewers. 2014. That seems like forever ago, right? And in another way, I feel like I still remember those first commutes when I started doing my channel. Like, it seems like yesterday, it's a crazy thing, maybe it's me just getting older, or just, you think about it more because you're actually filming it, makes life seem to go by faster, I guess, or something. But love the longtime viewers, love the new viewers, love the moderately long-time viewers and the short-time viewers and the viewers who left and came back. So love all you guys. Keep watching my videos. Keep liking my videos. Hopefully more people can see my videos. Share them. And let's just keep growing and growing this movement for more people riding their bikes on the road to work. Moving on. Eric the cyclist. My first bike commute was a failure as I crashed on a brand new bike, a GT Zasker. That was 20 years ago. Oh, dang. Oh, man. Sorry about that, but hope it didn't slow you down. Didn't slow you down. What am I saying? I hope it didn't slow you down. Besides getting a new bike and starting again. Eric the cyclist. I like that name, Eric the cyclist. Prison Mike. Okay, there's no funny name. Prison Mike. I've been almost ran over too many times. Okay, this is on the vehicle cycling video. Almost ran over too many times. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, all right, switch the roles, right? Motorists don't understand with cyclists on the road. They're like, get off the road, But it's like, switch the roles, Make them lose their car. Say they assault another road user. Let's say a cyclist, for just a little bit of karma here, and they lose their license or they're suspended. Yeah, people drive their cars without a license. They shouldn't do it. Drive people without insurance. Shouldn't do it. But let's say they lose their car. Their car is compounded or something like that. The car is literally taken away from them. They have no car, and they have a buddy who has a bicycle, and they don't have any time to figure this out, so they ride a bike. That'd be so much karma, for a motorist to be required, like community service. Like, you must now ride your bike to work because and then what would come of that? Would anything come of that? Maybe not, but that would be so funny. That'd be so funny. Karma, it's like, oh, you hate cyclists on the road. Well, now you got to be a person who rides a bike on a road. Would that change any minds at all? Maybe not. Would that give cyclists a bad name because they would just be breaking all the rules, you know? Would they be total hypocrites if they did that, though? Yes, they would. Are there hypocrites everywhere around us in this world? Yes, there are. So that'd be kind of funny, though. I just thought, like, karma, man, yeah, karma. Anyway, moving on. Kimberly Thomason writes, I commute around town, but not to work. I'm disabled and love biking. Enjoying these videos. Thanks. Very relaxed experience and informative. Thanks, Kimberly. Thanks for the kind words, Kimberly. Moving on, Jay Macho. The video start at the 2:50 minute. Okay, so that's a common complaint I get about my videos. That on top of my style. That on top of not being on any other social media, I think is kind of the reason why my channel has not totally taken off, as well as being such a very, very specific channel where there's only so many people out there right now. I believe there'll be a lot more people in the future. There's only so many people right now who are, bike commuters, and I will also say bike commuters who also spend time on YouTube. Because if I had a choice to do YouTube or ride my bike, I have a set amount of time. I have 30 minutes out of the day. What am I going to choose? Sorry to say, usually I'm going to choose to ride my bike than to go onto YouTube. That's me. Now, but I have a great passion about sharing my stories with people and inspiring other people. And that's why I do YouTube, because I'm passionate about this sort of stuff. Otherwise, I'd be riding my bike, But I love riding my bike, and I love sharing my love for riding a bike with other people. And the best way to do that, just like with so many things nowadays, is social media. Should I be on more social media? Yes, I probably should. But right now I can only handle one social media, and that is YouTube. So this guy's just saying the video starts. So that's where I start talking. This is the best way to lock your bike. So I guess the 250 mark is where I actually show me locking my bike, because I'm always rambling when I'm on the bike about stuff about riding on a bike. So here I'm explaining it. Best way to lock a bike, in my opinion, is to put a U-lock onto your rear wheel. Put the U around the rear wheel here within the rear triangle. That means it is impossible to separate the rear wheel from the frame without cutting the rear wheel. That's the Sheldon Brown method. And then for the front wheel, what I like to do is I don't know if you can see anything. Do I talk about it on the front? Maybe a little bit. On the front of the bike, can't really see it, but down here on the axle, I actually have these special I think they were called PIT locks, pit locks. There's a whole bunch more of them now. A lot of the big brands do it, like I don't know, like Planet Bike, they may have their own stuff they require special tools to remove the wheel. The only negative of that is you need the special tool to remove the wheel. If you don't have the special tool and you get a flat, you're screwed, But they're basically so you cannot quick release remove the wheel. You cannot use an Allen key to remove the wheel. You need, a special tool that is specific, that is machined in a specific way, that the only way to remove it is with that. Now, you can break any lock with a power tool, period. It's all about time. All you're saving yourself on when you're locking your bike is time. You're saving yourself some time. You have a good blade and a good power tool, you can cut through any lock in 60 seconds, generally, okay? So it's just about how much of a hassle are you willing to make it for the thief and yourself? How many locks? 2 U-locks? 3 U-locks? How much is too much of a hassle for you? And it's always a balance. If you live in a high crime area, don't ever leave your bike. Take your bike everywhere with you. That's the only way. Unless, someone wants to punch you and take your bike from you. I mean, that's the only way that you can prevent your bike from being stolen in those sort of situations. You never let it leave your sight. You know, if you're going to go into a coffee shop and you locked your bike up and you're another thing though, you always keep an eye on the bike. But another thing is never leave your bike alone where you cannot see it and you cannot get to it within seconds from it being stolen, unless you can afford to replace the bike. Do not take your really nice bike on your bike commute. I have some really nice bikes. I admit it, I'm very fortunate of this, but I often take them with me indoors, into my office, and I park it in there nearby my desk, basically. I have a desk job, yes. But otherwise, I have locked my bike outdoors before, but I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you cannot afford to replace the bike. For me, it's actually less of a matter of cost to replace my bikes. I don't have any, multi-$1,000 bikes. It's more important for me to not get my bike stolen because it's got the right fit. It's dialed in just right. It would be extreme hassle. It'd be a bigger deal to me than money to set up my bike again and get it all suited out just the way I like it, because I get all the bike noises out of it and everything. And to get that stolen would just be, it would crush me. Fortunately, I've never had a bike stolen. But fortunately, I also don't live in a high crime area, If you are riding your bike to campus at a college or a high school or something, I would ride a cheap bike. I'm sorry. I would not take a nice bike with me onto a college campus or somewhere where there is just so much higher risk of a bike getting stolen. Again, there's the low-hanging fruit, though, because it's like a lot of bikes that are stolen aren't the bikes that have the U-locks, are the bikes that have the stupid little, little locks you would use to lock up a little tool shed, or I don't know, a lock you would use to wrap up a trash bag to throw in the trash. I don't know. It's like a stupid little locks you can snip with almost just basic scissors, So yeah, that's just to keep the honest people away from the bike. That's all that's going to do. To keep a thief away, you just need to make it such that it's just too much time to get the bike out. And there's the argument of locking up a bike. I'm getting a little far off on this, but there's also the argument of locking a bike up, where it's a very busy or very quiet area. Where's a thief more likely to steal a bike? In a very busy area or a non-busy area? It depends on the thief. Every human being is different with a different personality. Some may feel uncomfortable in a quiet environment because you'd hear a really loud power tool and it would draw people's attention quickly to it, versus on a very busy New York City street where everyone's really loud and all these noises going on, all these jackhammers going on and stuff with the construction equipment and everything. They may feel a lot better in a noisy area to steal by. I don't know. Anyway, so moving on. Spent enough time with that. That was a long one. I don't commute to work, but I do ride my bike for some errands around town. Increasingly, my first one was to the mechanic to pick up our van. Hey, that's cool. That's so funny. Using a bike to go pick up a car. Thanks for sharing that, Daniel I. The Denzo Family Show. Nice video, Bike Blogger. Thanks. Thumbs up on that one. Turbofan 450, 630. Your only rationale for not riding in the bike lane with an e-bike when other cyclists are around is the speed. But it's poor reasoning. Non-electric bikes can go just as fast as class 2 or 1 e-bikes. Just that it takes more effort. A non-electric bike rider can ride recklessly. Yes, I totally agree with you. I must have missed that point in the video. This is my should I buy an e-bike video. Turbofan 450, you hit the nail on the head there. Yes. In fact, myself, I can ride a bike just as fast as someone could ride a cheap e-bike. So why, like in New York City, why don't they want people with e-bikes in bike lanes? Do they look at it like a slippery slope? Like, oh no, soon we're going to start allowing mopeds and motorcycles in the bike lanes, which they should not be in the bike lanes, because they're just big, heavy pieces of machinery and equipment. What is the purpose of the bike lane? Is the purpose safety, or is the purpose, a cultural thing? Like, we want to encourage people to live a healthy lifestyle. So we want them to use a pedal-powered bike, period, with no electronic motor or whatever. You could also make the argument e-bikes are good for people to get into the sport or into riding a bike, because it otherwise would be something that just totally turn them off. So it all depends, like Turbo Fan 450 says, it all depends on how you're ridden. The bike being electric isn't really the issue. I've seen you go very fast. Exactly. I have gone very fast on my bikes because they're lightweight, unlike an e-bike. E-bikes are quite heavy compared to a little skinny tire road bike. So yeah, I must have hit on that in this video here where I'm riding my bike. Do I have a section where I'm riding? Yeah, look, I'm in the bike lane. Look at that. So I talk about hypocrite, right? I talked about riding in a bike lane on an e-bike, and then here I am riding in a bike lane on an e-bike later in the video. So anyway, okay, let's put it out there to the viewers. I don't think I've done a poll on this. Maybe I'll do it in another video. I don't know. A lot of good video ideas here. I always come up with good video ideas when I read comments from other viewers. Do a poll here, or just a quick question out to the viewers. Hey, should e-bikes be allowed to ride in the bike lane? E-bikes are bikes too, so should they be allowed to be in the bike lane? I don't know. I mean, e-bikes, a heavy e-bike may not weigh much heavier than a regular mountain bike if you got a really fancy e-bike. So weight is not necessarily the issue there. So yeah, I don't know. I never really thought about it that way. But yeah, an e-bike can go faster. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally missing the point here. Let me know in the comment section below. Why should e-bikes not be allowed in the bike lane? I'm kind of leaning toward e-bikes should be allowed in the bike lane. If you're, as long as you're following the speed limit, I think that's really the thing. If a bike lane has a speed limit that is purposefully lower than the road, then everybody should be following that speed limit. Like on a multi-use path. If the speed limit on the multi-use path is 10 miles per hour or 15 miles per hour, then whether you're on a bike, you're running really fast, like the Road Runner or something, Looney Tunes, or you're on an e-bike, everyone should follow the speed limit, So as long as you're following the speed limit and you're the same size as a regular bicycle, you're not like a motorcycle or something, then yeah, I guess I don't see an issue with it. I think maybe the concern is just it makes it easier for people, so you're going to have even more people than the few people that can go 20 miles per hour or whatever. You're going to have more people going 20 miles per hour now in the bike lane. And the idea is to just prevent people from doing that. Regulations. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm torn on it myself. Should e-bikes be allowed to ride in a designated bike lane? Hey, if there's a speed limit, yeah, I think so. As long as they follow the speed limit, I have no problem with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, really, personally. I think someone who, it's just like, someone who has a condition or a disability or something, you're not going to let them, they have to use an e-bike, or it's the only way they can enjoy riding a bike, and you're not going to let them ride in the bike lane? Yeah, food for thought. Babar123. So is it a road bike with slim tires? Asking about my my first snowy bicycle commute video here. Road bike with slim tires. Yeah, so my bike in this video is a cyclocross bike. It's an adventure bike. It has disc brakes. This is kind of a funny thing. This bike has disc brakes. I have fenders on it. I have road bars. The tires aren't very skinny though. They're pretty wide. They're like 35 millimeters wide. So that's wider than a road bike right now, today in 2020. I say that only because road bikes and mountain bikes are becoming more and more like each other. There's differences, but there's not as big of a difference as there used to be in years past. Let me try to explain that to you a little bit. All right, so here's a road cyclist on a road bike. Nowadays, most road bikes have the disc brakes. It's just kind of standard nowadays. Used to be you'd find disc brakes on mountain bikes. There's actually a lot of technology from the mountain biking world that has now come into the cycling world, at least into what would be called gravel cycling or adventure biking or whatever. Getting the fatter tires, getting the disc brakes now. But you also see a little crossover into mountain biking. You see some mountain bikes with road bars, and there's a crossover with cyclocross. So yeah, I mean, the defining line between different types of bicycles is becoming more and more blurred nowadays. But generally, a road bike is going to be the skinny tires. It's going to be lightweight. It's going to be more of an aggressive geometry, whereby you're going to be more stretched out onto the bicycle, kind of meant to be hanging down like this lady here. Alfred Ho says, maybe you could try a Brompton single speed. Yeah, they're popular folding bicycles, Bromptons. Maybe. ISM Century X says Malichi D. I don't know what that is. ISM is a cycling brand saddle. Oh, yeah, okay, here we go. This was my video about, whoa, there I am. Okay. This is a video about my favorite bicycle saddle, or what would be your favorite bicycle saddle. I recommend you check it out. This was back last August, or actually August. This is August 2018, so this is a while ago. That's an ISM saddle right there, the Adamo Typhoon. It's now called something else, but they still make basically that saddle. You can see I have the saddle pitched in such a way that's kind of dropping me down forward toward the bars of the bike there. That's just personal preference. It's always been said that your saddle should be parallel with the ground, or at least as a good starting point. But now it's becoming more accepted for people to kind of have their saddles like falling off toward the front there. What's that going to do to you? It's going to take some pressure off your back end and put more pressure on your hands. So I really recommend, like I'm wearing there, some cycling gloves with maybe some gel pads or something inside to kind of help cushion the road, or double wrap your bar tape, because that way you'll get more cushion on your hands. All right, guys, I think we're going to end it here. Thanks for watching Bike FAQs with Bike Blogger. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.